Hello viewers, welcome to this edition of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In this edition, we'll be discussing SDG 6, talking about clean water and sanitation and what NIMASA is doing to help achieve these goals. With me in the studio today is Hadiza Jubril. She is a Principal Marine Environment Management Officer with NIMASA. Stay with me. Hadiza, you're welcome.
Thank you, Femi. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you once again, Hadiza. You're welcome. Now, as you may know, cleaner and safer environment is very pertinent to the actualization of the UNSDGs, right? And in this edition, we're talking about cleaner water and sanitation. Can you tell us what NIMASA is doing to ensure that this is achieved in Nigeria, particularly in the maritime sector?
So thank you, Femi. Thank you for having me. So the environment plays such a crucial role in achieving the UN SDGs by several ways as following. It supports human well-being, and then this is achieved by SDG 1, 2, and 3. And then it also promotes ecosystem services. This is achieved by SDG 6, 7, and 9. It also supports climate action. This is achieved by SDG 13, 14, and 15. And then it also promotes sustainable development. This is achieved by SDG 8, 12, and 17. So NIMASA does its best in fulfilling these SDG goals by achieving its set targets.
All right, thank you once again. Thank you for that response. Now, our focus today is on SDG 6, talking about clean water and environment. Now, can you tell us what NIMASA is doing to contribute its own quota to ensure that we achieve, cleaner oceans in line with NIMASA's mission? Thank you.
Okay, so in answering your question, one of the set primary objectives in the NIMASA Act is pollution prevention of the marine environment. So I'm going to start with marine environment protection, and this is achieved by NIMASA in compliance with relevant international conventions such as MAPOL, which is a pollution prevention from ships, and then also London Dumping Conventions on waste and other matter, and then compliance with other relevant Merchant Shipping Act regulations on waste. And so NIMASA is able to achieve this by control and prevention of oil and chemical spills, waste and garbage from ships into the marine environment, so thereby enhancing proper sanitation. Secondly, by maritime intervention services such as port reception facilities, which are readily available to receive this waste by sewage and other waste matters from ships. And then also NIMASA regulates sewage management, such as sewage treatment plants and wastewater management plants as well. That's all for ships and for vessels. And then thirdly, NIMASA promotes sustainable maritime practices such as sensitizing maritime stakeholders on the use of eco-friendly greenhouse technologies. This reduces the emission of greenhouse gases. We have greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, ozone, and fluorinated gases. If these gases are emitted into the atmosphere in large proportions, they can accumulate in the clouds and thereby coming back into the environment as acid rain, thereby polluting the ocean and then also affecting its sanitation. So NIMASA does its best by sensitizing stakeholders to ensure that they use greenhouse and technologies that reduces the emission of these toxic gases into the atmosphere. So also NIMASA engages in trainings and capacity building of maritime stakeholders, marine operators, and then also local riverine communities on best use of recycling waste facilities, proper sites for disposal of their waste, and then the appropriate equipment to use to dispose their waste. And this will reduce the introduction of waste into the marine environment as well. And then fourthly, NIMASA in collaboration with other government bodies such as Federal Ministry of Environment, NESRIA, NEOMA, they conduct jointly to ensure good water quality, like monitoring on good water quality, and also in case of marine incidents like oil spills, chemical spills, like for example oil spills, NIMASA has to work with NOSRA and NOPRI, to curb oil spills, and then also chemical spills and other kind of spills. So in removal of such spills and waste into the environment, it also sanitizes the water. Yeah, so and then fifthly, we have research and innovation. So NIMASA conducts ongoing research, to provide better technologies and methodologies in ways to ensure good water quality. And also this helps also to provide, it helps in inform decision making and stimulate policies as regard natural water resources.
All right, thank you very much for that response you gave. Now, there's this menace talking about open defecation, and I think it's common in coastal areas, in the country. And, this causes health hazards to people because these things has a way of getting back into the oceans now. So what do you think NIMASA can do? Although I know NIMASA is doing a lot on marine litter and all that, marine litter marshals and managing the ocean, right? So what can NIMASA do to help to stem this tide or maybe they can actually, if possible, eradicate it possibly? Thank you.
Firstly, I'll shed some light on the Marine Litter Action Plan by the agency. So NIMASA, they developed a waste prevention and waste management plan for marine litter. And then also the deployment of marine litter marshals along coastal lines, shorelines, and riverine communities. And this is to ensure like your plastic waste and other forms of waste and debris along the shorelines. So these marine litter marshals, they clean this up. They are active in the cleanup. And then also they sensitize riverine communities on, anything regarding discharging their waste into the ocean to promote sanitation of the water. So, and in so doing, for open defecation, is a significant issue for the UN. And the UN has been they've been tackling this since 2013. And NIMASA understands that this poses immense health risks.
Yes.
And like, for example, on humans, it can cause, cholera, diarrhea, and then also affect marine biodiversity and eventually environmental degradation. So NIMASA has taken up some initiatives to curb this open defecation. One, for example, NIMASA engages in regular cleanup of coastal areas and seaports, cleaning their wastes, like such as marine litter, water hyacinth, and also human waste, including defecation. And also, secondly, NIMASA engages in sensitization of, as I said, marine stakeholders and also coastal communities on proper hygiene and sanitation as well, so reducing this open defecation. And then thirdly, NIMASA also, is looking to work with other relevant security agencies like the police and other security agencies to enact laws to prohibit this open defecation, which will also attract fines and penalties if they find individuals or businesses engaging in such acts. And then fourthly, NIMASA also, is to engage with other other government bodies and non-government bodies, and also our NIMASA corporate social responsibilities, for provision of, infrastructure development, like construction of toilets, and also provision of these mobile toilets along coastal communities, and also to sensitize them on the use of these toilets and to avoid defecating that will be carried along into the marine environment.
Lastly, now, as you may know, we're already 10 years into the SDGs, and it feels like, a lot is still yet to be achieved. In another 5 years or less, we should be done with this set of SDGs. Now, what do you think will happen to the global, populace if these SDGs are not reviewed? Or what do you think? What's your take on it? Should they be reviewed, or you think after 2030 it stops there? Thank you.
Okay, so what I think is, SDGs, they provide minimum standards minimum living standards for global citizens, and providing eco-friendly environments, good health, and human well-being, supporting human well-being and supporting climate action. So what I think is after 2030, the world may not survive. And that's if there's no review, and I'll suggest a review after 2030, because we deal with global challenges. Previously we dealt with the COVID pandemic. We could deal with other kind of, issues that come up as it comes. So as these issues and challenges come, and we keep revising the SDGs. So it will tackle such challenges, both global and climate, environmental challenges as they arise. So I believe that, yes, it should be revised.
Well,
thank you.
very much.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on this
Yes,
program.
thank you, I appreciate it.
Dear viewers, thank you for joining us on this segment of SDG 6, talking about clean water and sanitation. But before you go, I'd like to remind you that keeping our environment clean is the responsibility of government and ourselves. But government will create the enabling environment. You and I should ensure that we keep our environment clean. Remember that everything you throw on the road, those nylons and those papers, has a way of washing down into the oceans and getting into the mouth of the fishes. And of course, remember that these fishes are a means of consumption of food for human beings. So the health of the fish is also the health of the human being. It's a wrap on this segment. I remain your host. My name is Femi Kumuyi. Thank you.